Hi, my name is Sulaiman Khan. I'm 28. I'm from East London, and I'm the London Regional Ambassadors for Trailblazers, which is part of the Muscular Dystrophy campaign. And Trailblazers is a network of young disability campaigners who basically we fight for social issues for young disabled people. And currently I'm actually a graduate. I graduated last year and I studied advertising and brand communication, and right now I'm just continuing to campaign with Trailblazers and just taking one day at a time and just struggling still to find a job really. Throughout my life I've had many barriers, and one of the main barriers, as I mentioned, was going to university. And actually when I moved back from America I found a report from a psychologist for a test I took before I started primary school, and this psychologist actually said that Sulaiman seems to be reasonably intelligent. So university really changed my life for the better. As I mentioned, it was quite a scary thing for me, and I was quite afraid to actually go to university. But very quickly I decided that just to go up to people and just to say hi. And within a few months I was actually starting to socialize with more people. Once people actually saw the kind of work I was creating, and they really understood that I was, they really had to take notice, and it was really nice to actually have that experience. I've never really had that experience, particularly the social aspects. I think people take that for granted as well, and I think that's really important.
What challenges do you face in your daily life?
I can't go travelling, I can't volunteer, I can't even go to a gig with my friends, I can't socialise, and people don't understand how important that is as a young disabled person. I had to fight quite hard with the local authority and the university to go to university and study. Funding for my care package was a huge challenge because my local authority had never sent anybody to university, but I really had to push them, number one, not to cut my care package, and number two, to actually continue funding my care package while I'm at university.
Can you explain more about your care package?
For me, I have a 24/7 care package, and then a year after I moved back to London in 2007, I was clinically assessed by the local authority to need a full-time care package. So I always have two carers with me at all times, 24 hours a day. So in 12-hour shifts there's always 2 hours, two carers with me. And without that care support I wouldn't be able to travel, to go out, to do things. And my care package is quite a real one. It's not really social care, and social care is mainly when you have carers that come once a week and take you to Tesco's. But because my argument therefore to the local authorities, because I have a condition that has no cure and it will get worse over time, then it's a clinical need rather than a social need. So I have quite good specialist trained carers, which makes a much larger and more appropriate care package.
What did you study at university?
I studied advertising and brand communication. The main reason why that is because for about 7 years in America I studied advertising and marketing, so I really enjoyed the creative side, so I wanted to study that at university level. And since graduating I really wanted to go into the advertising industry and to work at an advertising agency. So in my second year I actually set up my own personal brand. So I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to just have my name on my CV, so I set up my own personal brand to do my work under. And so in the last few months I've just been working on projects, my own creative projects, and hopefully in the next few months I'm going to have some new projects and just build up my portfolio in that sense too. And it was probably the best experience of my life.
Who are your role models?
For me, I had two main role models. My main role models were my parents, really. I think without them, because my parents, from a very, very young age, I think there was only one time when I said, when I was 5 or so, I said, okay, what's wrong with you? And the answer was, there's nothing wrong with you. From that time, my parents and my entire family, in fact, have pushed me and never treated me any differently.
Do you think it's important for disabled people to have role models?
Basically, I think it's quite crucial, especially for children and young disabled people, to have role models, because it might be great to look up to a Paralympian, but they're quite not really realistic for most disabled people, and not every disabled person wants to be an elite athlete, and so for me it's quite important to have role models, just with a sense of them being normal, having a sense of normality.
What are you doing with Include Me Too?
I think for me, my role with Include Me Too is just to share my story, number one, and just to try to support families and disabled people. Show them that if you always fight, what you need, as a wise man once said, the only time that you can, when the man is brave is when he's most afraid. I think that's such a great quote. I think, the fear in people, especially in disabled people, that's what really stops people from doing anything. I think it's quite crucial just to be quite fearless, and that if you want to go to university, go to university. If you want to go to a gig, go to a gig. And it's quite funny, where people look at you and now I don't really care. So, I just go out and enjoy my life, live my life, like everybody else, and just, take one day at a time, because the way I look at it, there's no time like the present. And so I still, as a disabled person, I find it quite frustrating now, not able to do it as much as I want to do, but that's about having a great support network and, just taking one step at a time. It might take me longer to do something, but, at least achieving it one day at a time and just taking it from there, really. You don't need to be isolated or separated, you need to be included in everything, and I think that's quite crucial, really.
Do you have a message for other disabled people?
And for me, the key message for children and young disabled people is just to be fearless. I think that's the key thing. Whatever you want to do in life, if you want to become a brain surgeon as a disabled person, there's nothing in the world that can stop you. If you want to go to university, go to university. If you want to, become a bus driver as a disabled person, as the first person to do that. And to do that, there's always ways. It might take longer, it might, take a different way of doing it, but you should always aim to do what you want to do, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything, because in my life, doctors told me that I would be dead at 5 and this at 15, and I'm 28, I'm still here, so I think it's quite important just to not let